Hello everybody, we're going to be showing you how to replace the brakes and the rotor. In this video we are working on a 2017 Lexus CT200. When removing the brake pad housing or caliper, it's best to remove the bottom bolt only. Once the bottom bolt is removed, you can pull up the caliper and slide it out. When you remove the caliper or brake pad housing, you can leave the brake hose attached and just hang the caliper with some kind of metal hanger so the caliper will not be hanging by the brake hose. Even though I've never seen a caliper hanging from the brake hose and brake, it's always best to hang the caliper with some kind of metal hanger just to be on the safe side. Once you have full access to the brake pads, you can just go ahead and remove them and you can leave this other housing of the brake pads. This part is called the torque member. We feel that it's a good idea to leave the torque member left on because when we put the new brake pads onto the torque member, the pads will be in position for the new replacement rotor that will be installed. We just feel that this way is easier. Now that the old pads are removed, take the shims from the old pads and put them on the new brake pads. Now that the new brake pads are on the torque member, you can remove the torque member along with the new brake pads left on. Remember, we are installing the new brake pads now so that it will be easier to reinstall them with the new rotor. With the torque member off, you can now remove the rotor, but sometimes the rotor will be stuck or difficult to remove. When it's like that, you can remove the rotors by using the right size screw and inserting it into this screw hole that's provided. This will allow the rotor to become loose. With all the brake components off, like the torque member and caliper and rotor, you can install the new rotor now. Just as a tip, when installing the new rotor, you can put one of the lug nuts and the washer to hold the rotor in place so that when you reinstall the other components like the caliper and torque member, the rotor won't move out of place and it would be easier to install the torque member and caliper. You can apply some lube to the brake pads and to the bolt on the caliper. When reinstalling the caliper, you need to push the piston back on the caliper so the caliper can fit into the torque member. When all is done and everything is installed, just make sure everything is tight, and if everything is, this side of the car's brake and rotor replacement should be completed.